Hi everyone, it's Grace. Welcome back to my channel. So we're almost halfway into the third quarter of 2021. Just when we think that the pandemic is going to be over, the Delta variant spreads again. And this is really bad news for all of us. In response to that, the CDC extended the moratorium for eviction and forbearance once again until October 3rd. I mean, I understand that the intention is good, but is the result good as well? In my honest opinion, I don't think so. And here are my 5 reasons why I think that the moratorium extension is going to be the last trigger for a housing crash that's coming for the rest of 2021. Again, I will provide all the links to the data in the description below so you can examine by yourself. Number 1, the moratorium extension is the policy of the last resort and will only bring the foreclosure wave sooner than later. The spread of Delta variant has a negative influence on economic recovery. As of August the 12th, there are more than 140,000 new cases, which is almost half of the peak point back in January the 8th, and the number is on a sharp climb to a new peak. This is not helping the economic recovery at all because it's sort of like a running out of option policy, because renters are already behind on their rental payments, and landlords are also behind on their mortgage payment, so it will only bring the foreclosure wave sooner. Number 2. Moratorium extension and the low distribution rate of rental assistance are a bad combination. Let's first take a look at the numbers of renters and landlords who are behind payments so far. According to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition analysis, as of July 2021, 6.5 million renters are behind on rental payments. And according to the U.S. Census Bureau, households with missed rental and mortgage payments reached 8.7 million from July 21st to August 2nd. And then let's take a look at how much of the rental assistance has been successfully distributed so far. According to the analysis by the National Low-Income Housing Coalition and the U.S. Department of Treasury, only $4.2 billion are distributed out of the total of rental assistance of $46 billion as of July 2021. So there's still $41.8 billion that has not been distributed at all. It doesn't make any sense. I also provide a map where you can see how much of the rental assistance have been successfully distributed for each state. Only 4 states have over 30% distribution. 14 states have between 10 to 20% distribution, and 28 states have less than 10% distribution. And Florida's distribution rate is only 2.8%. The map shows that the rental assistance distribution is not really successful in providing help with renters and landlords who are behind on payments. So here's what's happening. On the one hand, the moratorium extension encouraged people to seek rental assistance from the government because that's the only way they're going to get paid. And landlords can even apply on behalf of renters. On the other hand, the low distribution rate of the rental assistance shows that a large portion of the rent money never made it to renters or landlords. So the actual result of the moratorium extension is to delay further payments and force landlords to get rid of their rental properties. Number 3, the moratorium extension encouraged rental and mortgage non-payment. From reason number 2, we can say that the rental assistance distribution pretty much fails. But it also changes the behaviors of renters and landlords. Since the rental assistance money failed to be delivered to people's hands directly, and the moratorium is further extended, it basically pushes people's limit over the edge. Some renters may choose not to pay rent at all because of the moratorium, and landlords cannot evict the renters because it's against the policy. But landlords still have to pay mortgage, property taxes, and other home expenses. So in this condition, the landlord may choose to do 2 things. First, simply dumping the property by reducing the price, because no landlord wants a renter that doesn't pay rent. But the matter of fact is that some renters just can't afford it, while others may find it as a loophole not to pay. The second option is go into foreclosure after October the 3rd, and I believe that foreclosure will certainly happen. Some of you mentioned in the past that it will not cause people to foreclose their properties, because it will be rescheduled to the end of the mortgage term in the form of monthly installment instead of paying a lump sum. It's true that the mortgages usually backed by governments such as Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, and USDA cannot require people to do lump sum payment, and some traditional banks also do that. If your bank agrees to give you a loan modification, you may be able to continue the monthly payment schedule. But since banks almost never agree to reduce the principal amount, the mortgages that you miss will only accrue more interest. I will make a video about this in the future. But here's the question. If renters choose not to pay rent, how can landlord generate rental income to cover those modified monthly payments? And if they ask for further loan modification, banks will almost certainly deny. So foreclosure will be the only option. Number 4. Moratorium extension and rent increase cause renters' desperation behavior. Renters are crucial to keep good rental properties running. If the real estate market is growing healthily, rent increase is normal. And renters can also afford rent increase because they get better salaries. However, according to Apartment Guide, many hot real estate markets are seeing 20 to 40% year-over-year rental price increase. For example, for a one-bedroom apartment, Las Vegas sees 42% increase. Jacksonville, Florida sees 35.5% increase over the last year. But the growth of salaries and wages are not even remotely near the rent increase rate. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the salary and wage increased only by 3.5% for civilian workers and 3.2% for private industry and 1.6% for state and local government as of June 2021. Under these circumstances, some renters just choose not to pay rent at all and not get evicted because of the moratorium. The unfortunate combination of these events may just bring out the worst in renters because the situation simply pushes people over the edge. Number 5. The spike in China's producer price index will cause the inflation to go higher in the US, and a moratorium extension will urge cities to enforce rent control. According to the National Bureau of Statistics of China, the producer price index increased by 9% as of July 2021. What does it mean? The PPI reflects China's factory gateway price for all manufactured goods. As we all know, China is the world factory, and the US is one of the main countries with goods imported from China. And the calculation of CPI also includes imported goods. So the increase of China's PPI will cause US CPI to a new high, which means that the inflation rate will go even higher, causing more goods to be more expensive for average households. The extension of the moratorium will be seen as an unfair policy because it encourages non-payment, while a lot of people are still struggling between paying rent, mortgage, and just covering the basic living expenses. In areas where rents increase the most, rent control will eventually kick in, which will drive down the housing market. And when the inflation rate increases even further, it will cause the market to crash. So here are my 5 reasons why I think the moratorium extension is the trigger for the housing crash, which I believe will come in 2021. What do you think? Comment down in the section below and let me know. In the next video, I will explain the myth of low housing supply and bring some clarity to the table. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.